deliberate and act on ordinance 988, an ordinance for amendment of the $1,036,400 loan agreement dated May 31st, 2013, by and between the City of Raton and the New Mexico Housing Authority. Mr. McGowan.
Thank you, Mayor. Each one of you, I put in front of you tonight additional information concerning the ordinance. You know, it was brought up February the 11th, and I went over at that time the changes that we had made. And of course, this is 30 days later for it to be passed, and so hopefully this gave you more information so that you can see the changes that we did make in the loan agreement, and I would recommend that you approve it.
I will move that we approve ordinance 988, which is the amendment of the $1,036,400 loan agreement between the City of Raton and the New Mexico Housing Authority. This is for to update our sanitation.
Did you say the New Mexico Housing Authority?
I probably did. New Mexico Finance Authority.
Yes.
Thank you for that correction.
Madam Mayor, I'll second that motion.
Thank you. There's been a motion and a second. On this, maybe we should have a roll call vote.
Commissioner Finelli?
Yes.
Commissioner Sabata?
Yes.
Commissioner Giacomo?
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez?
Yes.
And Mayor Mann?
Yes. That the ordinance 988 has passed. Okay, our next item of business is to deliberate and act on resolution 2014-08, application for municipal arterial program, fiscal year 2014-2015, funded by the New Mexico Department of Transportation, District 4. Mr. Berry?
Mayor and Commissioners, Scott Berry, KS Berry Engineering. In the spring of the year, typically applications are due from the New Mexico Department of Transportation for their local government road fund projects. And there are two applications that we typically submit. One is a municipal arterial program, which we're talking about here, and then secondly is a cooperative agreement program. And I would tell the Commission that we've had pretty good luck in recent years with both of those applications, but particularly with the MAP. We've done pretty well in the last 4 to 5 years. And the significant thing about an MAP project is larger dollars really than the co-op project. So what we would anticipate is that we would submit a project in the $300,000 range. We have talked to the city manager about rehabilitating Tiger Drive. And those of you that have been on Tiger Drive would see that the pavement is pretty weathered, rough, and so we would propose to rehabilitate that pavement surface primarily. So in our preliminary estimate and evaluation of the project, we believe we could complete that rehabilitation of the pavement from South 2nd Street to the railroad tracks. That would fit pretty well within the $300,000. Now, we apply for that. We really need to see if we are successful, what we're funded. So when we apply for $300,000, doesn't necessarily mean we will get that. But that's what we have in front of the Commission tonight. It requires a resolution, and basically the resolution states that you would have your share of the funds. So how both of these programs work is we ask for 75% of that total project amount from DOT, and we tell them we'll supply 25% of that. So the numbers break down. If we were awarded the $300,000 project, DOT would provide $225,000, and the City of Raton would provide $75,000. The cooperative agreement, we will also be preparing an application for that program. We did talk about drainage in the downtown area where we have seen some would just add to that, what we use for this type of project comes from the gasoline tax that's earmarked for street and drainage improvements. And by applying for these kind of funds, we're leveraging what funds we have. So we can take our $75,000 here and turn that into a $300,000 project. So I'll hold up there and answer any questions.
Would you explain to the people here and also the people listening on the radio some of the limitations on MAP funds? Every time we do a project, somebody comes to me and says, "You're doing this project, why didn't you do that project?"
Yeah, that's a good point, Commissioner. When we're talking about these municipal arterial funds, the key word is arterial. And so we're typically working on an arterial type of street. Many of the streets we have in town are a lower classification of street. And the original purpose of the MAP project was to relieve congestion on a state route. So typically it would be an arterial that connects with a state route, and Second Street would be a state route, and it would relieve some congestion in that area. So Tiger Drive would be classified as an arterial, and we have that nexus to a state route that meets the basic requirements of an MAP. So a collector street or a local street in a neighborhood would not qualify under this program for MAP funds.
How about the drainage part? Where would that fit into this? Would it be downtown area, basically?
Commissioner, what we have going on right now, we've seen a particular problem on Park Avenue with some flooding there. It's been sort of a long-standing problem, and we did apply for some co-op funding last year. We got enough funding to start the project and do the first phase, so that's under design right now. We would anticipate applying for money for the second phase, and it would be that portion of Park Avenue from 2nd Street to 3rd Street in the area of the post office. We have a particular problem there with flooding.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Berry?
Yeah, the answer is on that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Berry.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion that we adopt Resolution 2014-08 for the application for municipal arterial program fiscal year 2014-2015.
And I will second that.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 2014-08, which is the application for the MAP funds for fiscal year 2014-2015. Could you do a roll call vote?
Commissioner Finelli,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sagrada,
Yes.
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Giacomo,
Yes.
and Mayor Mill.
Our next item of business is to deliberate and act on the approval of the settlement agreement between Andy Holman, Vera Holman, William Douglas, and Vivian Douglas, doing business as the Al Portel and the Clark Avenue Apartments. Mr. McGowan.
Mayor, Commissioners, again, I was hoping to have a signed agreement for you to be able to pass tonight and have the mayor sign it. I do not have it, but Mr. Holman, our legal counsel, has instructed Mr. Holman either they come up with the agreement signed or pay the $52,000 that they owe, or last, that we hope that we do not have to do, but will be litigation. So that is all that I have to report tonight. Those are the three options, and that's where we're at.
Excuse me, but did the $52,092, is that what the city paid for hauling and restoration of the property?
No, sir, that was what was taken to the landfill at the price that they had paid the time before. No, sir, it was not on bringing in the dirt.
Since we do not have a signed agreement, is it appropriate for us to go ahead and vote on this, or should we postpone it? How would you like to handle it?
I think we should just table it again at this point, Mayor, till we
move that we table the deliberation on the approval of the settlement between Andy and Vera Holman and William and Vivian Douglas doing business as the Al Portel and the Clark Avenue Apartments until we have a signed document.
Does that require a second?
It does.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. It's passed. It will be postponed until we have the signed documents. Our next item of business is to deliberate and act on introduction codification ordinance 989, 7th supplement. Mr. McGowan?
Mayor, Commissioners, on the country board that I am learning a lot in this. And Miss Tricia and I are both learning, and this hasn't been done for a couple of years. We did not realize that it hadn't been done, of making sure that all the ordinances are caught up to date and that we have not only hard copies, but on the net. So please pass this and we'll get everything sent and get us up to date and have us in compliance.
Thank you.
Can you explain exactly what codification is to the audience and to our listeners?
Sure, what we do is we send all of our recently passed ordinances to a company called American Legal Publishing, and they put it in a form that will be placed on the internet, and the ordinances that you look up online are all codified, so that's what we're doing. And also, if you were to come to City Hall and ask to look in an ordinance book, they're put into a form that's easier to read.
Thank you. The reason I asked that is this morning I looked it up and it directed me to the Baltimore Corporation, American Legal, and I started reading all the codes and stuff. So
We're learning too.
but I didn't know what exactly what codification meant. So thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, I make a motion that we adopt ordinance 989, the codification ordinance supplement.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Hannah. There's been a motion and a second that we go ahead and do the codification of ordinance 989, 7th supplement. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. The codification ordinance 989 has passed. Our next item of business is deliberate and act on resolution 2014-09 directing the creation of a financial advisory committee. Mr. McGowan, you want to handle that too?
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioners, you all have a copy of this. I think that's one of the things that Mrs. Mance, I know, has talked about it. I know Commissioner Chavez, but in reading what that you had given an answer during the campaign and everything, wanting to have some oversight, and I think this pretty well spells it out. I think as we go along, if we see that we need to make any additions or corrections to it, that we can do that, but I would recommend that this, all of us need to be held accountable, but what everyone needs to remember is that they do not have any authority. They are only advisory. It is still the commission that must be approving, accepting, or rejecting any of our finances that we bring before you.
I have an email from Randy Van Glick. He is the counsel for the New Mexico Municipal League, and I asked him the question of whether or not we could do this, and he says, Sandy, I have spoken to both Bill, that's Bill Falginetti, and Ed Zindel, and we all agree that the commission could establish an advisory committee to assist the commission and the Board of Finance, but it must be advisory only. Any committee established by the commission for this purpose cannot have binding authority, which is exactly what Mr. McGowan just said. I'll make the motion, or I'll move to go ahead and pass Resolution 2014-10, 2014-9.
We have discussion first, or do we pass that?
No,
Generally, you can have
we usually after the
motion.
Thank you. Thank you. Discussion?
The people, our constituents need to know that this is a creative financial advisory board, and it should not reflect on Michael Ann's abilities and what she's been doing for us at the city. It shouldn't be construed to be that. But what it is it's going to be an advisory board of some volunteer people that will help and advise the commission and the city manager and the finance officers and any problems we would have as trying to get our budget and our everything in order. So that's what this is all about.
It's a 5-person board as it stands now. 1 being the financial officer, 1 commissioner, and 3 citizens who have financial background. It's not a fire drill. Any other discussion?
And so we would be taking, Mayor, applications for this.
Absolutely.
And
If anyone is interested in serving on this newly formed board, if it passes, you'll have to fill out an application that you can get at City Hall, just like you do for any other board that has to do with the city. And the only requirement is that you have a fiscal background. Are we ready to vote? Anything else? No? Okay. Why don't you take a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Chavez,
Yes.
Commissioner Duckman,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Segata,
Yes.
Commissioner Finale,
Yes.
and Mayor Mills.
Yes. The creation of the new Financial Advisory Board has passed. Our next item of business is deliberate and act on Resolution 2014-10, Budget Adjustment Number 6. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know if I can find it. Pass right over
did I,
Go ahead, Mr. McGowan.
like you say, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's for the 2 trailers, and I'll address that again here in just a moment under my report. And the $2,000 on top, that was for out at the airport. They thought they had a grant that each year that they could spend money to do things, and this slipped by because they did not have one, and we cannot put in a request for a new grant until July 1. But we have taken care of this problem so that it should not happen again. And the other, like I say, is self-explanatory. That is for our 2 trailers, and they are here. So it is recommended, Mayor, please, that you pass this resolution.
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 214-10, the budget adjustment number 6.
Thank you. I will. Go ahead, thank you. Is there any discussion?
I might say something. It might be that I'm talking a lot, but we were out to the unit out at the sanitation, and we saw the new trailer sitting there, and I did see that the crews out there were really busting their tail. There's some new construction that has started there, I think it was, and also a little kudos for Mr. McGowan. One of the employees told me, he said, the other day I was cleaning a ditch of trash, and here's a guy in his suit and his tie, and he worked for 2 hours helping him clean the ditch, so Mr. McGowan was out there taking care of the sanitation problem. The two trailers are sitting there, and I think we need to get this done.
There's been a motion and a second to act on Resolution 2014-10, which is the budget adjustment number 6. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion passes. City Manager's report. Mr. McGowan?
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Ms. Tricia had put in there some of the notices about board vacancies and also information so that try to catch everyone up to date. And she will be going through and coming up with all the vacancies of people that we have that maybe their term is expiring. And we do have a couple that have already put their names in, and we will be bringing it up at our 25th meeting. And that's all that I have on that. If you have a question or anything on it, otherwise, hopefully then, and just thank all of the volunteers that we have within the city that do donate their time to try to help out. And now we have the new, the financial one also now that we're going to start taking applications on with people that have a fiscal background.
I'd just like to read so that people know where the vacancies are. We have a vacancy on the Airport Board, Planning and Zoning, the Raton Housing Authority, the Library Board, the Lodgers Tax Advisory Board, and the Park and Recreation Board, as well as the Financial Advisory Committee. Thank you.
And they can pick up applications from Ms. Tricia here at any time and then bring them back to her. And then I will be presenting them to you at the meeting. Next item, Commissioners, is RCI training. They will be here March the 19th and 20th for training. I have instructed Ms. Michael-Ann to bring them. If we have to bring Heinfield Meach back, whatever we need to do to get our audit in compliance. And so they did come earlier and worked on the inventory. They're coming now for training of personnel within the departments, and then we will be having them come back to finalize any of our inventory that we need to do. And, well, we're doing our dead level best that we get this taken care of. And once everything is brought out, I think Mr. Mance told me once that this has been 14 years in the process of trying to get to this point. Well, I promise you, we are trying to get it done. And if it's not, we'll bust our tails till we do. Next item, State Auditors Meeting. Ms. Michael-Ann and Ms. Geneva attended the State Auditors Meeting in Las Vegas yesterday. I hope that you'll realize, and I'll keep you informed at all times of sending our people to training. The Chief of Police is going on training now. And so we want to give our people the best that we can get them to help them to do their job the best they can do. Next item, I'm going to give this to you, Mayor. The Safety Counseling to the Administrator. This is required that the Mayor or City Manager attend, and the Safety Coordinator. And right now, Mrs. Mance, that's you're Mayor, and we have already registered. And now if we do have a new City Manager by April 23rd, then both of you, we'll try to get both of you to go if both want to go. And so we have registered, so that it will be taken care of. Miss Cindy Parker is going this week to take care of that section of the Safety Coordinator. Okay, on the landfill transfer station, as Commissioner Chavez said, the two new trailers are in. Today we had training for them of getting it in there. Of course, then we had to take it all out, didn't we, Mr. Ernie? Take it all out and put in the roll-offs. But we have received bids on the tipping fees, and the bids are going out right now for the hauling. And once that's all in place, then we'll see what we can do. I'm really asking our citizens to please only C and D at the landfill, or your grass trimmings or limbs of that nature is all that we're taking. No furniture or anything of that nature can be taken out. Please use the recycling, anything that we have that could be recycled. Otherwise, put them in the roll-off that it will be carried down to Wagon Mountain, down to Levy. And I should say that Mr. Berry, Mr. Phillips, and Mr. Ernie, Mr. Pat, and I will be meeting with Miss Orley, Ashley Marks on Friday to see where we go from here. I think we're in pretty good shape for when she comes, or at least we're sure trying to make sure that we have everything picked up and covered up and that we're ready, and try to finalize with Mr. Crapo and Ms. Marks on closing the landfill. Talking with Chief Matthews, the Troy Fire Station number 2, we hope to break ground on the new fire station on March the 18th. Has there been a change in that, Chief? We're still a go. And the trailer that we had there has been moved out. Sold and moved out. Next item, the city market building. I've asked Mr. Campbell, Chief Matthews, Mr. Berry, Mr. Phillips, and any of the commissioners tomorrow at 10 o'clock if you would like to be down at City Market. We're going to tour the building. We want to make sure they're looking at donating that to the city. We want to make sure that it would not be a liability to us. So all of you are invited at 10 o'clock tomorrow to look, to view the building and inspect it. And like I said, I have Mr. Berry, Mr. Phillips, Mr. Campbell, and Chief Matthews will be there looking the building over, just so that everyone will realize that even if we were to get the El Portal land, or even if we were to accept this building, it would be something that we would need to look at trying to sell to get a business in, and we would put it out for a bid that would be the requirement, that you are going to put a business in, you are going to put it in at a certain time, and this is what you would be offering for the building. And because just let's take the city market building. One, we will then have to have it insured, which will cost. Two, it would be a liability. And three, we need the property tax. So that would be one of the things we need to do, is to get it sold to someone that wants to put in a business. And that is my recommendation to the commission, that anytime we do this, we have probably too many buildings now that we need to do things with, and probably can't. But these are areas that we would not, if we were to end up with the El Portal. The reason I'm saying that, we do not want someone to purchase the land and for speculation and keep it 10 years down there with nothing on it. We need to put it out where people would want to build something, and we have a business, and we try to get the town growing again. Just a no man's recommendation. Next item, I'd like to say thank you and appreciate everyone that attended the swearing in yesterday. I thought it was very nice. The Judge Bashmaster, Miss Tricia, Miss Michael Ann, Miss Chris, and everyone that was involved, and also everyone that was, all of them, and everyone that was involved as precinct workers, and Judge Walton, and all the voters alike in the democratic process. I'd also, at this time, like a thank you go out to former Mayor Ledoux and former Mayor Pro Tem Candelaria for their service to the city of Raton. And with that, welcome the new commissioners, welcome the new mayor and mayor pro tem. We will proceed.
I'd like to thank the city for what they did yesterday with the refreshments, and I saw her working hard on it all during the day that I was in here, and it was just thank you. It was nice. It was very nice.
Sorry I missed it. Madam Mayor, before we adjourn, I got one thing I'd like to present to Mr. McGowan. Since we're coming up on the budget process, and you like to use number 2 pencils and Big Chief tablets,
Yes, sir.
we got you a number 200 pencil with a big eraser.
All right, I'll need that.
And that will protect the lead there, sir.
All right, thank you. As Mayor Nance tells her kids, the only city manager in the world that still uses a Big Chief tablet and another 2 pencils. That's why we have the young people to take care of the other things.
Pick up the pencil.
Thank you all.
Is there any other business to come before this meeting? If not, I will move that we adjourn.
Sounds good. I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.